It's a moving war story that Joe Biden has told before.
This guy climbed down a ravine, carried this guy up on his back under fire.
That he was in Afghanistan as vice president when he was asked to pin a silver star on a heroic Navy captain.
I said, sir, I don't want the damn thing. Do not pin it on me, sir. Please, sir, do not do that. He died. He died.
But according to the Washington Post, almost every detail of that story he told Friday appears to be incorrect. That he was conflating elements from multiple actual events, including when he pinned a Bronze Star on this Army staff sergeant, Chad Workman. Ultimately, the Post reports Biden got the time period, the location, the heroic act, the type of medal, the military branch, and the rank of the recipient wrong, as well as his own role in the ceremony.
And it's the God's truth, my word as a Biden.
Asked tonight if he conflated multiple stories, Biden told a South Carolina newspaper, "No, I don't think so. The central point is it was absolutely accurate what I said. He refused the medal." It comes as President Trump has repeatedly accused the Democratic frontrunner of being off his game.
Joe Biden has truly lost his fastball.
The president has made numerous exaggerations and false statements, including this claim just this week.
Kim Jong-un, who I've gotten to know extremely well, First Lady has gotten to know Kim Jong-un.
The White House later clarifying that the First Lady has never met Kim. As for Staff Sergeant Workman, he told the Post 8 years later he still remembers that meeting with Biden and felt like the former vice president really understood.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.